Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining me on the Painted Lines' YouTube channel. I appreciate you tuning in, and as always, thank you for your constant support. I'm Brock Landis. You can find me on Twitter at LandisBrock, LandesBrock. And stay with me. I'm going to tell you why Josh Richardson was the missing link for the Philadelphia 76ers. Following the first glimpse of Philadelphia 76ers basketball, an annual inter-squad scrimmage at the team's Delaware Fieldhouse, newly acquired Josh Richardson stated, "I am not coming in here trying to be Jimmy Reddick. Those are two of the best guys in the league at what they do. They did great things for this team in this city. I'm just coming in here trying to be the best Jay Rich that I can be." Comparing Josh Richardson to Jimmy Butler and or JJ Redick will be the albatross around his neck for the foreseeable future, but the fifth-year guard has worked vigorously to establish his own identity. In fact, comparing Richardson to his predecessors would be unfair and do absolutely no justice to emphasizing how perfect of a match he has been with Philadelphia, acing all of his tests thus far. Through 5 games, the Philadelphia 76ers are capitalizing on their speed and athleticism, starting nearly 20% of their possessions with a transition play, the most in the NBA. Richardson has had the basketball in his hands in transition with 19.7% frequency, contributing 2.5 transition points per game there on 40% shooting. In addition, the hybrid guard is scoring 6.4 points in the paint per game, 3.8 points off of turnovers per game, and 2.8 second chance points per game, all good for career highs. Although Richardson is engineering the Sixers' half-court offense as a pick-and-roll ball handler and averages just 4.8 times per game, he is being unleashed as an independent creator. Richardson is driving to the basket 12.4 times per game, scoring 6.4 points and converting 47.8% of his driving field goal attempts. For reference, Jason Tatum is driving to the basket 11.2 times per game and scoring 3.8 driving points per game. Josh Richardson doing better than him in that category. He has attempted 17 free throws in 2019, Richardson's highest mark through his first 5 games in his career. He sports a shooting foul percentage, mind you, this percentage, a percentage that shows the shot attempts a player is fouled on, 7.7% in 2019. This is his highest notch since 2015, where he was at 8.2, indicative of how creative Richardson is getting and showing his will to get fouled around the basket. Richardson is receiving 52 passes a game, and he owns a career-high 48% field goal percentage on unassisted shot attempts through 5 games. Despite amassing just 3.6 assists per game, Richardson is averaging 9 assist points created per game, nearly as many as Chris Paul, who makes an average of 6.3 more passes per game than Josh Richardson. The Philadelphia 76ers are bullying opposing defenses and finding mismatches to exploit, most of which occur within close proximity to the basket. The Sixers are taking shots within 4 feet of the basket with 37.9% frequency, 2% more often than last season, yet convert 69.9% of their field goal attempts there in 2019, a 4.1% increase compared to 2018. Philadelphia's backcourt is unquestionably responsible for improving their shooting efficiency around the rim, as both Ben Simmons and Josh Richardson are making over 70% of their baskets there. The addition of Richardson for Philadelphia, however, is being demonstrated defensively, where his impact has been monumental. Richardson owns a defensive rating of 97.1 in 2019, the most impressive rating in his career by roughly 9.0 points. His previous career best was 106. He posted a defensive rating of 85 or lower in victories over Boston and Minnesota. Richardson's defensive ratings in both of these games were good for 7th best and 13th best in a game this season among all qualifying players, and he is the only player to find himself on this list twice in the top 15. Richardson has stolen the basketball away from an opponent at least once in all but one game this season, bringing his per-game average to 1.6, good for 10th most league-wide. His 8 total steals this season is tied for 7th most in the NBA, a category led by fellow teammates Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons. The 6'6" combo guard has blocked 6 total shots this season, tied for 3rd most among NBA guards. Although the sample size is incredibly small, Richardson owns a 60.0 clutch defensive rating, accompanied by Ben Simmons also 60.0. Both Josh Richardson and Al Horford are the only 2 starting 76ers that are allowing opponents to shoot over 35% from beyond the arc. but they are two of only three Sixers holding opponents under 50% on two-point field goal attempts. More precisely, Richardson is limiting opponents to a field goal percentage of 26.7% on two-point shot attempts. Richardson is one of three Sixers players to deflect at least 2.8 passes a game, altogether averaging the third most team deflections per game throughout the NBA. The perimeter wing defender in Richardson is contesting an average of 4.4 two-point shot attempts per game and 3.2 three-point shot attempts per game, bringing his total to 7.6 contested shots per game, tied for ninth among NBA guards. 6 different Philadelphia 76ers players own a negative defensive point differential. For reference, a greater negative number represents better defense, and Richardson's differential is negative 8.1%, the best of any starting Sixer by at least 5.5%. It's without coincidence that this 76ers defense has made vast improvements through its first 5 games with the addition of Josh Richardson. Philadelphia is surrendering 101.2 points per 100 offensive possessions, their lowest total since 2011. There is seemingly no longer a defensive liability at the guard position on the floor that opposing teams can consistently attack, largely thanks to Richardson's defense. The 26-year-old Richardson covers so much ground defensively. While empty possessions due to suffocating defense don't show up in a box score, his presence is constantly felt on that end of the floor. The ability that Richardson possesses to close out shots as a defender, rotate along the perimeter, head screens, and stay leveled while defending shifty guards is all a testament to just how good his defense is. Richardson's impact has been invaluable thus far for the Philadelphia 76ers, serving as a dependable creator offensively and an anchor on the defensive end.